I spent probably close to 50 years of my life on a diet. I'm 68 right now. I did finally find something that worked. Well, I guess you could call it a diet. I think of it more as an eating plan. I grew up in Canada in the 60s and 70s. By the way, my name's Jackie. There were no overweight people back then. I was teased at school. I didn't have friends because I was different. My mom said to me, I don't know what happened, dear. I never had junk food in the house. I didn't bake. Looking back now, I think it was a hormonal issue, but back then we didn't know that. So my lifelong struggle was real from the age of 12 years of age. I was 15, Mom put me on Weight Watchers. That was the only diet that there was around back then. I don't remember losing weight on it. I don't really think I did, but I don't remember now. When I was probably 19 or 20, I discovered Dr. Atkins, and I jumped into his, pretty well meat-based diet. I did that maybe a year or so, but it didn't really work for me for whatever reason. And so I went back to my diet of preference, which was vegetarian. For the next 40 out of 50 years, I was either on a vegetarian or a vegan diet. And I enjoyed it because I didn't want to eat animals. I did jump into different diets now and again and eat some meat. Like I went on this crazy diet that you probably never heard about. It was a guy in Los Angeles where I was living at the time. And he had a raw meat diet. For almost 3 years, I ate nothing but raw meat, raw seafood, raw chicken, raw eggs, raw dairy. And I felt horrible. I couldn't put one foot in front of each other. The guy that developed the diet just said I was detoxing. Well, detoxing for 3 years, no thank you. So I went back to my vegetarian diet for decades. And as I got older, I just kept putting on the weight. I'd starve, lose some, put on the weight again, roller coaster. Those of you that are watching it probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So what did I finally end up doing? Well, I realized that starch and sugar were the enemy. And even as a vegetarian in 2016, I decided to give up starch and sugar. Well, that didn't leave a lot left to eat. And I did starve for 3 years, but I lost 90 pounds. When I went off of that very restrictive diet, it slowly came back a little bit of the weight. And I was kind of left with like, what am I going to do? Starve the rest of my life? I didn't want to do that. I added meat back into my diet in November 22. And not long after that, somehow a video popped up on my feed about the carnivore diet. And when I first saw that video about the carnivore diet, I didn't look at the video. I just saw the thumbnail. I went, oh, that is absolutely disgusting, just eating meat. I totally forgotten I did that 25 years earlier. And so I didn't pay too much of attention to it. And then I watched another one that said something like plants are trying to kill you by another doctor. And I went, well, that kind of caught my curiosity. 20 minutes later, I was convinced. I started the carnivore diet and I thrived on it. Yes, I was vegetarian one day practically, and a couple of months later, I was eating only meat. But I'd eaten so little meat in my life. I'd had chicken and fish the times that I wasn't being a vegetarian, but mostly I very seldom ate red meat. Now, I'm not saying you need to go on a carnivore diet. I'm just telling you what worked for me. Not just for weight loss, but the inflammation I had. My whole family suffered from debilitating arthritis as they got older, my age. And I was feeling tremendous pain from my late 50s. So I gave up vegetables happily because I was the only vegetarian that didn't really like vegetables in my entire life. Maybe 6. I lived on 6 vegetables. I have never felt better. I have energy. I don't wake up feeling like crap anymore. My inflammation is, some days I have 0. It has been remarkable for me. But no matter what diet you're on, and I'm not suggesting you need to start on a meat-based diet, but whatever you do, eat single ingredient foods. Oh, by the way, I was never a junk food eater. I don't think I've ever eaten a Twinkie in my life. I've never been to most of the fast food restaurants. So I ate a clean diet my entire life. I just want to add that here. I was always eating clean, organic, as you know, whatever I could that, didn't have chemicals and pesticides in it. I lost the inflammation. I slimmed down. I'd gotten a little heavier during the lockdowns, as I'm sure many of us did. But I slimmed down after I did the carnivore diet. But the best thing about it is I don't crave anything. My pain is mostly gone. I can eat like a pig. I can eat a huge ribeye, lots of fat and butter on it, and I feel great after. It really worked for me. Now, whatever kind of diet you're on, it does take will and determination. If you were like me and you're at the breaking point where you need to do something, maybe you've got too much weight on for your joints in your old age, or maybe if you're younger watching this, give it a try. Or at least eat a clean diet. Do a fast. If you don't want to do a meat only diet, by the way, is very, detoxifying. If that isn't your thing, try a water fast and then slowly start back adding the other ingredients that you like in your diet and see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But don't forget, it takes great will and determination. But when you find the right diet for you, game over.